Have you ever felt that shiver down your spine, as if invisible eyes were fixed on you, even when you're completely alone? It might not just be your imagination. Within the rich tradition of the Catholic Church, we know that angels and demons circulate among us, each influencing our spiritual journey in invisible but powerful ways. That sensation of being watched could very well be a heavenly warning or a whisper from the shadows. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to receive all our updates and inspiring content. Your subscription is a powerful way to support our work and ensure you don't miss any message that could transform your spiritual life. Let's embark on this journey of faith together. Imagine for a moment, what if every time you felt that you were being watched, it was actually a sign that spiritual forces were lurking, fighting for your soul? This is not just a simple discomfort, it's a divine call to arm yourself with the most powerful tools our faith offers. When this feeling invades you, don't retreat, it's your chance to dive deeper into faith. Seek the sacraments with renewed fervor. Confess, strengthen yourself with the Eucharist, and cloak yourself in the armor of prayer. The Church doesn't just teach us to be cautious about what we see, but also about what we cannot see. Being aware of these signs is a call to spiritual battle, an invitation to be a warrior of light in a world often obscured by invisible forces. It's not a time for fear, but for action. With Mary and all the saints as our intercessors, we have access to an impenetrable spiritual fortress. Have you ever noticed that your electronic devices seem to have a life of their own sometimes? TVs turning on by themselves, phones shutting down at critical moments, or computers freezing without explanation. It might seem like just bad luck, but what if I told you that this could be a sign that monitoring spirits are trying to get your attention? Yes, you heard that right. Within the Catholic faith, we understand that the spiritual world can influence the physical in mysterious and sometimes disturbing ways. These technological interferences may not be mere coincidences or manufacturing faults, but rather attempts at spiritual communication. These are moments when the veil between our world and the spiritual becomes so thin that even technology can pick up on these presences. Imagine this: you're about to watch a video on prayers or an online mass, and suddenly, everything freezes. Frustrating, right? But maybe it's an invitation for you to disconnect from the digital world and connect more deeply and personally with the divine. Every glitch, every interruption, could be a sign for you to pause and reflect. What are the heavens trying to tell me right now? It's crucial to interpret these signs as calls to increase your spiritual vigilance. Don't just fix the router or restart your phone. Take a moment for a quick prayer, a Hail Mary, or even light a candle for Saint Benedict, the protector against the curses of evil. Have you ever felt a presence while praying or meditating in silence? Perhaps a sensation that you're not alone, even when no one else is around. This is a potent sign that monitoring spirits may be observing your most intimate spiritual practices. At the heart of the Catholic faith, we know that prayer is a spiritual battlefield where angels and demons converge. These sensations during sacred moments of connection with God are not mere coincidences. They indicate that heavenly or, at times, dark forces are paying attention to how you dedicate yourself to prayer. The presence can be comforting or challenging, but each brings a crucial message: you are a valuable piece in the celestial chessboard. Think of it as a divine alert, a reminder that every Hail Mary, every moment of worship, is observed not only by God but also by those who inhabit the spiritual world. As warriors of faith, we are called to be aware and prepared, using each sign to strengthen our devotion and defense against temptations. When you feel this presence, take it as a call to intensify your prayer life. Increase your devotional practices, participate more in the sacramentals, and invoke the intercession of the saints. Each prayer then becomes an act of war against the forces of evil and a step towards deeper union with the divine. This is a moment not just to recognize this presence but to react with renewed fervor and faith. Turn your initial fear into a declaration of commitment to your faith. Make your prayers a beacon that not only attracts heavenly attention but also repels the shadows that seek to divert you from the sacred path. Have you ever experienced sudden mood swings or feelings for no apparent reason? One moment you're at peace, and the next, a wave of anxiety or sadness seems to hit you out of nowhere. These inexplicable emotional fluctuations may be more than just fleeting mental states. They could be the invisible touch of monitoring spirits trying to disturb your spiritual serenity. In the Catholic tradition, we know that the discernment of spirits is an essential tool for understanding these internal changes. Evil spirits, always lurking, may try to use your emotions against you, planting seeds of doubt, fear, or despair when you least expect it. They know that a troubled mind is fertile ground for straying from God. But here's the secret: these sudden changes are actually warning signs that you can transform into fortresses of faith. When you notice this emotional cloud forming, it's the exact moment to intensify your prayers, recite a novena, or seek the intercession of the Virgin Mary, to whom we turn as our protective mother in times of need. These emotions don't need to be your enemies, they can be seen as a call for a deeper relationship with God. Every negative feeling that arises is an opportunity to offer your pain, anguish, or confusion as a sacrifice, turning these trials into fuel for your spiritual life. So, the next time you feel this sudden mood change, don't succumb to despair. Remember that you are in the midst of a spiritual battle, and these feelings are signs that the fight is happening now. React with the armor of faith, trusting that with each prayer and each act of resistance, you are drawing even closer to the heart of God. Have you ever had a dream so vivid, so disturbing, that it felt more real than reality itself? Or perhaps you've had a vision that left you shaken for days. These dreams and visions are not mere creations of your mind. In fact, they may be direct messages from the spiritual world, especially when we are being watched by monitoring spirits. In the Catholic faith, dreams play an important role and are often used by God to communicate deep truths, warnings, or even comfort. But just as angels can visit us in dreams, evil spirits can also try to disturb our rest, injecting fears, doubts, and confusion while we are most vulnerable. These disturbing dreams or visions may be signs that forces are trying to interfere with your spiritual peace, trying to destabilize your faith. But remember, each of these dreams is also an opportunity for you to seek even more divine protection. Upon waking from a disturbing dream, the first thing you should do is pray. Turn to the intercession of Saint Michael the Archangel, the great defender against the forces of evil, or make the sign of the cross, asking God to cover you with his mantle of protection. These moments of vulnerability in sleep are crucial, as it is when we are most open to spiritual influences. Turn each unsettling dream into a call to prayer, intensifying your connection with God, asking for discernment and peace. The Eucharist and confession are powerful weapons that can help protect your spirit, even in moments of rest. Therefore, if you wake up from a dream that feels more like a spiritual battle than a simple reverie, don't ignore it. It is a clear sign that something more is happening in the spiritual world, and you are being called to prepare and protect your heart and soul with the weapons of faith. Have you noticed that certain numbers or symbols seem to appear repeatedly in your life, as if they're trying to tell you something? I'm not talking about common coincidences, but sequences and patterns that seem to appear at crucial moments. Within the Catholic tradition, these signs can be much more than simple coincidences. They can be messages from the spiritual world, a warning that you are being monitored by invisible forces. The Catholic Church recognizes that God and angels can communicate with us in subtle ways, using symbols and numbers to convey divine messages. However, evil spirits can also try to distort these signs, using them to confuse us or lead us away from our path of faith. Seeing repeated numbers like 3:33 or 6 hours 66 minutes, for example, could be an attempt to draw your attention to what lies beyond the physical. These recurring signs are an invitation to spiritual introspection. When you start to notice these patterns, don't ignore them. Use them as a call to intensify your prayer and discernment. Perhaps God is trying to show you something, or maybe you are being tested by the forces of darkness. In any case, it is crucial that you respond with prayer, seeking divine guidance to understand the true meaning of these signs. Turn to the scriptures, where many of these numbers and symbols have deep meanings. Pray that the Holy Spirit illuminates your heart and mind, helping you discern whether these signs are from God, as a reminder of His presence, or if they are traps that need to be fought with faith and perseverance. Each time you notice these patterns, pause and pray. Ask God to guide your steps and protect your soul from any evil influence. These numbers and symbols may be a spiritual language that you are being called to decipher with divine help. Don't let them go unnoticed. Use them as an opportunity to deepen your connection with God and strengthen your spiritual defense. Have you ever had a conversation with someone who seemed to know more about you than they should? Maybe you met a stranger who made personal observations or someone who seemed to have inexplicable knowledge about your life. This type of encounter can be unsettling, but in the light of the Catholic faith, it can be a clear sign that monitoring spirits are at work. These encounters are not mere accidents. Sometimes, evil spirits use people to test, disturb, or even manipulate your spiritual journey. These situations may seem harmless at first, but it's important to discern if there's something deeper happening. Perhaps that person who crossed your path is being used as a channel to destabilize you, or even to reveal something you need to face with faith and courage. In the Catholic tradition, we know that the enemy can use any opportunity to divert us from the path of grace. But at the same time, these encounters can be divine opportunities to strengthen your spiritual vigilance. When you come across someone who seems to know too much, or who leaves you with a feeling of discomfort, it's time to turn to God in prayer. Ask the Holy Spirit to give you clarity and discernment to understand whether this person is being used for good or for evil. This is the moment to intensify your sacramental life. Go to confession regularly, seek the Eucharist with renewed devotion, and invoke the protection of the saints, especially Saint Benedict, known for his powerful intercession against the forces of evil. These encounters don't need to be a cause for fear, but rather an alert for you to strengthen your spiritual armor. Every time you encounter a stranger who seems to know too much, remember that there may be more at play than just coincidence. Face these moments with courage, knowing that you are not alone. God is always by your side, and with divine protection, you can turn these situations into opportunities to grow in faith and holiness. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring content. Comment on how you've heard God's voice in your life, and let's continue together on this journey of faith. May God bless you and continue to illuminate your path.